Hey, what's up, dudes? HW here. How you doing? How you doing? So, last couple videos have been about 335s that I've been getting my hands on lately, and I got a. Here's my $4,000 1964 ES335 from the custom shop with custom buckers, and I kind of was looking for another one because I used to have a vintage one. I sold that. I had a couple of vintage ones back in the day, sold those, but I had one recently. It's a Trini Lopez. I sold that. And I was kind of looking for, I loved that guitar, but I was kind of looking for one because I want to put a Bixby on one. So I was looking around and I saw that Epiphone had these really great models, these inspired by Gibson Custom. Now this is kind of the very first inspired by Gibson Custom. And they didn't even call it an inspired by Gibson Custom. Check it out. Check that out right there. This is the 1959 ES355. Has Grover tuners, Chinese made, custom buckers. I think originally they put burst buckers in, or maybe that was the Dave Grohl model, but custom buckers in here, ebony fretboard, all the stuff. And it has the inspired by Gibson Custom, like embossed thing back here with the two triangles. Or the two diamonds, the kind of split diamond thing. And so that was kind of the first model. Now they discontinued that model, and that is a great guitar. That's what the last video was about. But this video is about this guy right here. Look at this thing. I loved the black. You might have seen these. This is the inspired by Gibson Custom 1962 reissue. And there currently is no 1962 reissue in the Gibson line. So if you want a kind of a 62 spec guitar, or at least pretty close to it, you're looking at this one right here. This also has that inspired by Gibson Custom triangle, you know, little symbol back here, or I'm sorry, the diamond symbol. They're not triangles. And I love the Epiphone. You know, it's got the open book headstock. It's got custom buckers, just like my really expensive one from the custom shop. It's got a nickel ABR1, and or a nickel stop piece, the ABR1, I suppose it's nickel. And then it's got CTS pots and stuff. So they've really done a great job with this guitar. Now I will tell you the neck is like a D shape. It's pretty flat in the back, honestly, but it's a good size. It's not as big as the 59 ES55. And this black color you can only get on Gibson.com. So I've got a sunburst one and a black one, and I think this one's the better one. And I'm really thinking I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep all three of these. And I was going to keep one. Like I was going to keep the Gibson, and then I was going to keep maybe one Epiphone as like a backup. But I think I'm going to just put a Bixby on this one and maybe start experimenting with different pickups and stuff, because this is a great guitar. It doesn't need different pickups, but I might want to do something just for variety. You know, maybe put a Fat Cat in the neck or something, or try some other pickups. You never know. You know, tinkering gives you, it gets you pretty far. But I really like this model. Now, I kind of think spec-wise, that's a better guitar because it has the Grover tuners. This one has the regular Epiphone kind of Kluson style, the Kluson Deluxe. It says Epiphone Deluxe on these. And so, you know, that one has real Grovers. This one, I mean, I guess it's real fretboard. That one has real ebony. I guess this is real rosewood. So I guess that's good, you know. But for whatever reason, this guitar, more so than the other one I bought two of this model. And this one just really, the notes kind of jump off the fretboard in a way that I really like. Playing the 64 Vibroverb 2.0 profile for the Kemper. It comes out pretty soon. I'm recording this before it comes out. Bridge is nice, and it really commands kind of some attention. Neck is really nice, and Couple spots on here I will tell you there's like some roughness in the frets. You know, that could be polished off, but you know, here's what they're doing, man. A Chinese made 335 with custom shop parts. It's basically got all the upgrades you would do. And to me, these actually feel a bit nicer than the regular Epiphones. I'm just going to tell you, they're priced in a way that it's like you could buy a regular Epiphone and then get the custom buckers, and you're pretty much at this price. I think you'd be hard pressed to buy the custom buckers and the CTS pots and get them to put them and get someone to put them in the guitar for you, because it's difficult to do in a 335 like this. Much easier if you have like a Strat or something with a back access, but there's no back access on these. So you're going to be hard pressed to get a standard one, put in, you know, the same pickups, or you know, maybe even some Duncan 59s you might put in the guitar, and after you change the pots and pay for the labor, you're at pretty much the cost of this guitar. So it's almost like they've priced this thing to compete against doing it yourself. And I think you end up, you know, especially if you get a used one. This one was new, but if you get a used one, you're probably going to be $100 or $200 cheaper than even you could do it yourself. That's just my guess. But I really love the sound of this thing, and I want to show you the sound of this versus the real Gibson with custom buckers, because why not? We did that with the red one, might as well do it with this one. So let me play you a couple things, and we'll play the neck, middle, and bridge, and we'll see how it sounds. And I'm just floored with the quality here. There's no link in the description that makes me any money. I just am really impressed by these guitars. So yeah, this Vibroverb sounds amazing, and these custom buckers, it kind of is the real deal. So here's a couple things on the guitar. I hear in the room, and it's always a little different. When I go back and edit these videos, I hear things differently than I sort of hear in the room. Part of it is like I'm experiencing the sound while also having my hands on the guitar, which I think gives me sort of less an ability to be objective. Also, another thing I really notice when I do these comparisons, acoustically, the way the guitar sounds greatly influences the overall sound. I've got this thing pretty loud, but you can always still hear the clack of the strings. What I hear is the differences between these two is that this one is brighter in the top end, a little more present. There's like a little more bite, a little more, I don't even want to call it airiness, but there is a plinkiness to the strings. There is, if I could really, it's almost like the strings resonate on top of the guitar, but the guitar is active. Like a guitar is projecting. It's hard to describe. Whereas that other one, the Gibson, it sounds more mid-rangey to me, but it also sounds more mid-rangey unplugged. That is a very mid-rangey 335. A lot of them that I've heard unplugged have more bass and more high end. That one, I wouldn't say it's quieter, but it's more mid-range and a little more muted in the bass and high end. I really like that, actually, and that's why I chose that guitar over some other 335s that I had, Gibson ones from the custom shop and stuff. And that was the keeper that I kept, and I named it and, you know, put the dub sticker on it. It's sort of like my seal of approval, you know, and sort of gave the guitar a personality. This one, you know, at first I loved it, then I was like, it's fine. And now I'm like, the more I play it versus other stuff, the more I've come to appreciate it has some real characteristics about it that I really enjoy. And part of it is that snap. Without being too like thin. Like that is a good sounding bridge for a 335. And you know, on the neck, you get all that. Yeah, that's great. We are living maybe in the heyday of Epiphone. I think that they've really come into their own with this whole inspired by Gibson Custom line. I think it's a big step up from the inspired by Gibson stuff. And I don't say that to say, oh, like that stuff's bad. It feels like this is where this was going. And we now are really seeing, hey, we're manufacturing it in another country, and that's how we save money. And everything else, we're pretty much giving you a pretty good go at. Pickups, electronics, we're not chinsing out. And what that tells me is, hey, we didn't try to keep this down an extra $200, right? We're like accepting. We've got the $699 guitars. That's where there's tremendous value. And if you're the type of person who wants to upgrade from there, we're probably going to be able to do it better or cheaper at least than you're going to be able to. Custom buckers are awesome. Are they better than Duncan 59s or you know, DiMarzio PAFs, you know, classic PAFs? I don't know. That's up to you, but they're great. You know, they're great. And this guitar especially, that's a great sounding bridge. Hats off. Hats off to the good people at Epiphone. This is a keeper. And by the way, black one, Gibson.com is where you can get that. And they do have like a 30-day return policy, so why not?